Hi, it is the meditation matrix time. So for past few days, I got messages and chat and discuss with a few meditation friends around the world. And what I found out is that in the well-developed country, okay, the country which you have high-tech industry and so forth, it seems that people are really stressed. So from United States to Europe, there are many people, or a lot of people, or mass people study meditations. So the older people, there's a group, like the senior people, and then there are kids who study meditation too. And after all the discussions, I told a few friends, I said, what you guys need is not meditations, okay? What you guys really need is what I call the human operating system. Human operating system handling. That's what you really need. It's not meditation. The meditation what in the market will not satisfy the need. Okay. So today I'd like to share with you this human operating systems. Okay. So actually, what written in this book, as what I've mentioned before, is about human operating system. So human operating manual. Now this is like a human operating manual. No, I'm not trying to sell the book for you. And again, I have repeated a few times. If you need the book and you cannot afford, message me in Facebook. If you're in United States, I send you a copy for free. On international, I cannot do it. Why? Let me tell you why. If you are in America, I send you. The postage is about, say, how much? The most is $6, $6. So I can, for $100, I can send many. But when I need to send it out of the United States, the postage is $30, $40. So that make it really, really tough. Okay, so that's the reason why. It's not that I don't want to help. I treat everybody equal. So again, if you need the book, you cannot afford it, message me in Facebook. I'll send you free. Okay, that's what it is. Because to help people is more important than making money. Okay, there's a priority there. So before I go into this topic on human operating system, there are a few questions. People, our meditation friends always message me. They ask me because they don't know me, obviously. So they ask me, okay? And as we know, when you talk about meditations, and people expect you to be like a guru, a monk, or a Buddhist monk, or Taoist, or a Qigong master, or whatever, okay? So today I want to share with you, who am I, okay? I seldom want to talk about it because it's not important. It's what is important is the content, the technical I share with you. Me is not important. You and me, what is the difference? Nothing. We're just human being, okay? So I'm a design engineer in the Silicon Valley. Almost retired because I'm 60 years old now, okay? And in my life, I only like to do two things. One, I love electronic design. It's in my blood. Another one is I like to investigate and experiment and research out of this traditional Chinese martial arts and the meditations, this alchemies or whatever. Okay. So in my life, I'm chasing around these two things. Okay. So what I can tell you is this, right? What I can tell you is like in engineering, 38 years ago, when I come to this Silicon Valley as a young rookie engineer, design engineer. So I met one, the pioneer of analog circuits. Okay, he practically influenced, really great influence to build out the Silicon Valley analog chips and so forth. So this is the second day, and I was there and I saw he's there, and I went there. You know, I got my master degree, so I went there and I introduced myself, and I asked him, oh, you know, I read this paper from this university on his design. How did he design this? What's the magic? Okay. Now, at that time, I have no idea of this inside meditation, inside stuff. So I want to know, I want to learn what is the magic of this guru, this pioneer in the Silicon Valley. This is a real deal pioneer, which influenced the world, right? So guess what? He brought me to the laboratory, electronic laboratory. So in the lab, it's a mess out of everything with the resistor box, the capacitor box, and all kinds of stuff. And because I was telling him about the paper on this, like what we call the system compensations in the operation amplifier and so forth, he showed me. He said, well, this is the box, and all of this is where the thing is making happen. Okay, this is where the thing is born or was born. And then he asked me, he said, Hendrik, do your mom, your parents have you born before give you the name then, or before you was born giving you the name, your name, Hendrik? Okay, so in other words, that the name Hendrik is given after I was born or before I was born. And I said, well, of course, after I was born. And this pioneer told me, he said, Hendrik, we create all this thing in this lab, and then the university go study about it and write the paper and article which you read. So that's why I ask you, is your parent have you first before they give you the name, or give the name before you was born? And I realized from that time, so, oh, now I know, okay, it's not theoretical. You guys, they are really working hard with them. Of course, they have a lot of experience and insight to make that happen before all this theoretical stuff and so forth. And then a few years later, I worked for another pioneer in the Silicon Valley. And because I always work late, you know, because I like my job, design engineer, I work late and so forth. So he always come by before he go home, he chat with me. So I asked him, I said, can you please teach me so that I understand how to, you know, to learn, and then, you know, how do you learn so many things? You know, how do you know so much? And he told me this. Okay, he told me this. He said, Hendrik, I'm much older than you. The reason why I know this stuff is because I have much more screw up than you do. I keep trying, I screw up and I learn. So that's another data point on all this pioneer and guru in the Silicon Valley analog design. Okay, they are the pioneer, the real deal. And I don't want to mention their name, even though in my heart, I appreciate their teaching, because I don't want to drop name here. Okay. And then in terms of Buddhism, okay, Buddhism. I have a teacher in Buddhism. He is the Zen patriarch, who is who have the transmissions of the mind seal, the mind seal of the Zen. He have that. So I love philosophy too, and I read a lot of sutta. And in fact, I copy sutra and I can memorize sutra. So the first time I met him, I go visit him in a monastery. So young guy, this is 30 years ago too, young guy, so I follow what they, like in the sutta, like the 6 patriarchs. So you go to a place where there's nobody there, you bow to the teacher, say, Patriarch, please, be compassionate, show me what is wisdom, what is this Buddhism, this Zen enlightenment wisdom. So he told me this. I have a lecture this afternoon at 3 o'clock at this and this hall or the temple, the hall in the temple. Come, I will show you. So at 3 o'clock, I went there. There's about 150 people there, monk and lay people. So the patriarch, the Zen patriarch, my teacher is lecturing. Okay, so at one point, I raised my arm, and then he come walk to me, and I was telling him what is in the state in the Avatamsaka Sutra. Avatamsaka Sutra. This is, the one of the top sutra in the Buddhism. So guess what he did? He stand there for about 30 seconds, but it felt like 300 years, because he stared at me. And he said this exactly. He said, Hendrik, if death come to you right now, will you be able to handle your destination? Okay. And it shocked the heck out of me there. And what I realized is I couldn't even handle my emotion. Like, we go angry, those kind of stuff, right? How the world are we going to handle death when it come to us, the body, all this 5 skandha, disintegrate all this thing? And I stand there for a while. It's like you have about 150 people there, and then it's like you feel really, really bad, awful. Okay. So the next thing I remember what I did is I bowed to him and I apologized. Okay. And what he told me is this. He said, Hendrik, whatever you never attain, you want to be shut up on that thing. Okay. This is not words games or philosophy game. This is about life and death. Okay. That's what he told me. And then he said, you need to work hard to end the life, the birth and death circle. Okay, as what Buddha teach. Okay, so this is from this my Zen patriarch teacher. Okay, I have a picture like that telling me to shut up and And then I met another esoteric and Zen elderly who is pretty established, and his name is in the history of the China in this century too. It's known teacher, okay, grandmaster. I was argue the hell with him in this. I live in this Milpitas, San Jose, Milpitas, beside the Lion City, because at that time when he come from China, that we trade him vegetarian food. I was argue the hell with him because I have my theory, right? And guess what? 16 years later, I found out I'm totally screwed up. At that time, he didn't scream at me. It's not like my teacher, right? I think my teacher, he's responsible for me because he's my teacher. So that's why, if he have to, like the Zen monk, if he have to hit you or scold you, then he'd have to do that. And this elderly is not my teacher, and also his style is different. So he just tell me, this is what it is, and then you think about it. And so after 16 years, I found it out, and I have to thank him, but he already passed away, okay? So, but without him telling me, I have no idea what the heck's going on, okay? Now, there's another monk, Buddhist monk, also a grandmaster, which is reputed and well-known in the Chinese community. He's under the Tiantai, like I mentioned, Zhi Yi, the great grandmaster Zhi Yi 1,500 years ago. So this monk is from the Zhi Yi line, okay? So they investigate into they are very good into Samatha and Vipassana, okay? So this another about 20 something years ago, about 20 years ago, yeah, he was giving a lecture, and I was critiquing him with a Zen, the Six Patriarch Sutta, the Zen view, okay? I said, well, how come it's like this? Because the Six Patriarch is doing this and so forth, the enlightenment, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Only last year, I found out, oh, shoot, I screw up the big time when I understand and when I experience what this monk lecture on the Samatha and Vipassana. So I tell you this because you and me have no different, and exactly this is like what the analog design guru tell me. Because I go through so much, I screw up so much. Okay, I keeping testing, trying, so I screw up so much. So I know something, okay? It's not that I'm some kind of guru or some kind of a monk or something. Okay, I'm just engineer or study. This is the same. Okay, now, before I start, I want to show you something which is related to what I'm going to tell you, okay? So I was born in Indonesia, okay, a place called Pematang Siantar, which is a small town. And the small town is about 26 miles away from a very beautiful lake called Lake Toba, okay? So I was just visiting there when I write this book and I finish this book up, okay? So this is Lake Toba, and look at this. Okay, there's no picture there. Okay, this is in the afternoon. This is the scenery there. This is at night. Okay, 1 second. This is almost night now, because you can see a light there, okay? This is real thing, okay? And then this is in the morning, the hotel. And then this is at night, This is early in the morning. You see the fog and everything. Okay, this is early in the morning. Okay. Now, this is another scene on different side of the lake. Now, I was born 26 miles away. So when I was young, I know that about when I was 4 years old, I already remember my parents bring me there. I create a mess for my mom, who is at that time 20 something years old, you know, the young girl still. Okay. I like that place. Yes. Okay, I like very much. It's very close to my home. But since 1980s, I come to United States to school, and then I work in the Silicon Valley and so forth for past 40 years. The accumulations of me went there, which is, I love this lake. It's not more than 1 week. Not more than 1 week. Okay. So why do I tell you that? I tell you that because anybody, if they go to this Lake Toba and they just sit there beside the hotel and watch this. Okay, this is real, okay? They'll feel calm, and then they will feel their awareness expand all over the place, because the Lake Toba is really huge, okay? Now, does that solve anything for me? I feel, you know, calm there, and I feel really have my awareness, mindfulness, mindful of all around, can even expand to say 10-20 kilometers around. Feel really good. But does it do anything when I get up from it? Nothing. And can I go there even though it's so close to my place where I birth? No. For 40 years, I only went there for, if you accumulate the whole thing, not more than 7 days. Okay? The reason I use this example to tell you is, many things which is people talk about, belief, or if you have anxiety, you believe everything is okay, then there's no problem. If you are in this mindfulness, watching the sky or the lake, then you have a mindfulness. Or you believe. If you believe that you live in this moment, then live in now, then you're okay. Well, those things are nice. Those things are nice. However, it doesn't solve your daily problem. We can go to like Lake Toba. I can trade you there. You can live there, and we can talk all the Buddhism, all the philosophy, everything. And then you can listen to me with all my theory. And you feel so good. You feel that you're refreshed. But the minute you drive off to the city, get on the plane, in the real life, it's completely a different world. So, the reason why I want to talk about this human operating system is because, as the Zen patriarch teacher of me, who teach me, saying that, Hendrik, if death come to you right now, will you be able to handle it? And as all the Zen say, what is Zen? Zen is chop wood and carrying water. Zen and all those handling is not go to live in Lake Toba. I love that too. If I can live in Lake Toba, no, live in this place forever. Okay, live here forever. I love it too, but it's not that. It's not a state. It is at everywhere. We need to be able to handle ourselves, because Well, I have no choice. That's what I told you guys. I have a diabetic type 1. I was born that way. Do I have choice to escape? I can listen to all this monk, Buddhist monk, and I went to a lot of places and tell me about this nice lecture and so forth. But no matter what, I have to face my diabetic type 1. Okay? So does my anger, my stress, all kinds of stuff every day. So the key is what I understand, okay? And you don't have to believe me or agree with me, go investigate. The key is at every moment, we can live with whatever we have in the best way. That is what I understand up to now, meeting all the Zen teacher and so forth, okay? And so, in order to do that as human being, that is why the human operating system or operating manual is needed, because life is much more complicated than mindfulness. Life is much more complicated or complex than if you believe everything's okay, your anxiety will be gone, because there's much more thing there. And it is also have to be scientific, okay? The ancient Buddhas, Grandmaster, they are very scientific people, okay? Now, so the first thing human, which I found out, need to know, that's why I wrote this book and all these models, everything, is human need to know this in order to handle us, okay? Human need to know the 6 areas of concern. The 6 areas of concern, namely, number 1, your diet. Your diet, what do you eat? When do you eat? How do you eat? The diet, okay? The diet. The second thing is the resting and your exercise. How much rest do you have? How much sleep do you have? How is it? Do you exercise or not? That's the second thing. The third thing is medication or medicine. Like me, I'm diabetic type 1. I have to know to get help from medicines. Okay? So that's the third thing need to be known. Okay? It's no different even the Zen patriarch or something. I have met and know the Zen patriarch. They get sick. They ill. They need Western medicine also, okay? Some of them can meditate, but depend on their body, like their DNA. They cannot avoid it. So enlightenment people doesn't mean that, you know, it's just like living in the Lake Toba, they can levitate. No, we are real human. The only thing different from them is they can handle it, okay, with peace. So that's the 3 things here of the 6. And then one need to know one's physical body. One need to know one's mind. One needs to know one's breathing. So you have 6 things there in order to cover the basic of the human handling. The diet, the rest and active or exercise, the medicines, the physical, your physical body, what you can do, what you cannot do, this physical body, the mind, your thinking and so forth, you know, which is within the mind, and then your breathing. Okay, wow. And what does, well, why breathing is important, why we need to inhale oxygen, we need to take oxygen, otherwise we die. Okay, so with this tree, if we break the breathing into two parts, okay, the breathing, if we call it energy, so for the breathing, if we call this energy like the ancient people, we can split it into breathing and like what the ancient call it chi, okay, which in today's word is your energy inside your body. Like if we eat, then we have energy. The energy, now don't think about something mysterious. And then you have the neural, you know, your sympathetic and parasympathetic system, nervous systems, and then your blood circulation, those things. So you have the sixth area, and if you break that thing, then you end up with this. You end up with the 4-layer models: the physical, the mind, the breathing, and then the energy neural. There's 4 layers, so it models us. Because only if we model us, then we know the mechanism and we know how to handle them. We know what to need to do with them. And then for the mind, we can further model that the basic within the mind, you have the thinking, imaginations, awareness, and attention, so that we be able to evoke the function when we need. For example, when we want to do calculations to buy something, then we need to use thinking. And then if we want to listen to music, we use our attention. Okay, so we need to know exactly what it is. Otherwise, it's like, no, what are we going to do with this thing, right? So we need to know their models, and then we further need to know the calmness and awareness map. The reason is that human, you and me, all the same. Human have the natural function of calmness and the awareness. Calmness will give rise to or support the awareness. The more calm, the broader expand your awareness. So it is like, for example, it doesn't have to do anything. It's your function. You know, everybody have that. If you go to the Lake Toba here, you sit beside there in the afternoon, you just sit quietly and you feel yourself calm down, and then you feel your awareness expand. Okay, that is not really any development of calmness or samadhi. That is just, it shows that humans have those type of functions, natural function. As soon as you let it show up, it will show up. Okay, so you need that map, the calmness and awareness map. For the reason that because we have that map, we know where we are. Okay, this is very important. Because we know this map, so we know where we are in calmness. Say, for example, you're in a calmness positive 1, calmness positive 2, and then beyond, or calmness negative 1 or negative 2. Because we know that, we know where we are and we can take action to handle our 4-layer or 4 core elements in the 4-layer models. Without doing that, we have problem. Now, let me share with you this. Let me share with you this. So this is the calmness, this is awareness. Say this is -1 calmness. This is -2 calmness. Okay? So what happens is that when you get into -1 calmness, usually the body, okay, because I equivalent that with or quantize that with the 75%, such as in the Garmin wearable device, where it can show your stress is 75% level. So -1 is equivalent to, you know, or map to the 75% stress. At 75% stress, the 4-layer, the body, the mind, the breathing, the energy already start to have into a chaotic situations at here. Okay? So if one is aware, be able to aware of the 4-layer models, be able to aware of this 4 elements of human body, okay? When one get into the -1, when the body start to feel that way, sense that way, they know something is going on with that 4-layer. And then if they were trained how to handle these 4 layers, the physical, the mind, the breathing, and the energy neuron, they know how to handle it. Okay? And one thing we can for sure know here, at that state, like you start to have anxiety or panic, the mind can sit there and have all the wishful thinking and so forth. But once your body react, your energy, your nervous system react, your mind is not going to do much. The more you control it, the more it's going to create issue in your body if you do it in the improper way. Okay? So you cannot say, no, at the -1, I start to have my anxiety already, I start to feel palpitation on my heart and so forth. If I cannot say, well, I just be, everything's okay, I believe everything's okay, then it will be okay. Because at the body is like like for example, your body at that time is like at a 5.0 or 5.5 earthquake already. You cannot handle that with all the philosophy. Live in this moment. Don't Don't against it. Well, it's easy to say. But if one do not have the handle of the 4 layers or 4 core elements, what are you gonna do? Philosophy, reading sutta. If you don't have that handle, you don't have the handle. Okay? Now, so over here, over the -1, all kinds of things need to happen. For example, you need to know the fun case. Is this just an excitement of your 4-layer excitement, like, you know, like you feel agitated and those kind of stuff? Or in the same time, the second thing is, or your energy level is exhausted also. So in other words, that you need to check the excitement of the 4-layer models. Is it just the 4 excitement, or it involve the energy have already weak? Those are different things. You need to handle it in different way. Say for example, you know, if I just get excited, I get mad at somebody, I get, you know, I know my body react. I can do, what do you call it, like what I showed you before, the 10 minutes meditations or the massage to calm down. Now, if my body already is exhausted, then there's a different issue. That solution might not be able to, might not applicable anymore. Because now your energy is low, okay? So, and another thing is that at this -1, okay, at this -1 calmness level, how long is that taking from the excitement this high to going down? There is a time there, a time delay there. Need to let the perturbed or excited 4 layers to settle down. And that depends on how much energy you have, what type of techniques you do. It is not very likely to say, well, I want to be mindfulness then when the entire thing is shaking. Okay, now, if you get to here, -2, when you get to -2, usually it is really like a earthquake, 6.8 already. The entire thing shaking, and you check if you are, you know, like if one is in a exhausting mode. Well, one better lay down, okay. And if one have the handle of the 4 layer of the 4 core element, one will stop everything and just lay down and get the medical help, because it's out of control already. Example for you, okay? I'm diabetic type 1. Sometimes due to a miscalculations in my carbohydrate, I might get down to, say, the blood sugar of 60. At that time, my body is like that earthquake, it's like -2 calmness. Do I have to go doing mindfulness or all this wishful thinking or belief? No, I cannot do that. Over here, I need to go measure my blood sugar. Right away, you take the glucose pill, okay, because your blood glucose is dropping, and then you want to shut everything off. You stay on bed. You want to wait until the energy come back, okay, come back to 1, and then the blood, meaning your blood glucose go back more than 70, and then keep coming back, and then you don't feel good, and then have to massage and everything so that to let from 1 get back to 0. And if people who have high blood pressure, when they get to 2, they have to take medicine, have a heart issue, have to take medicine. And if that is not feeling good, one need to call for medical help. There can be a stroke there when we get more and more, you know, we're aging. Okay, so it boils down that one need to know the four core elements of our body, so that one can sense, aware of everything, each layer, and be able to handle them as needed. Okay, so this is -1, this is -2. So this is 1, this is 2. Okay, at -1, you can do the, what I call the 10 minutes, the 10 minutes custom design meditation, because we in working multi tasking and so forth, we get into that. Okay, and we can do that meditations, and then we come down, go towards the zero calmness here. Okay, go down zero calmness here, and it takes times. Okay, now over here you don't want to do meditation. You want to take medicines, okay? And get the medical help if needed. And then, so that is what is needed at that time, okay? And over from -1 to 2, over here there's all kinds of practice, massage or so forth, and then you end up want to take medicines and so forth if you are having the conditions. So that's what this side. And then as we grow older and we work heavier, our working load heavier and heavier, we need to know how to deal with this. Do you think you're going to go for wonders? Counting your breath in, counting your breath out, those kind of things will help you in this thing daily? So it is the same analogy like if I bring you to, if I brought you to here, if I brought you to Lake Toba every day for 1 hour, is it good to have when you're here? Get up from the Lake Toba and go here? So that's exactly falling down to what the Zen patriarch told me. If you die now, can you handle it? Okay? So we need to be practical on how to handle this thing, is because, you know, of course, if you're a billionaire, your entire life you can live in Lake Toba, that's fine. But can we do that? Or we have to live our own life, our family, our kids, our job, all kinds of stuff. Okay? So that's one reason that you need this map here, the calmness awareness map. We know where and to do whatever is needed. You don't have this meditation one size, or you know, meditation is about getting your head or your mind to think this way and that way. No. And meditation is not to handle your breathing and so forth. For example, this is awareness, this is calmness, -1, -2. If people have some body condition here, precondition, means the body, you know, sick or have the this condition, if they want to train it, develop it, train it to get back to the normal state. In the ancient 1,500 years ago, one of the top technology of the Chinese medicine is the 6 healing sound, which is not actually what the term means, okay? Which is it is recording in the Chi Yi's document or teaching. 6 healing sounds. Do you know how long per day one need to train the 6 healing sound in order to get the body back healthier? Say if it's constantly in -1, anxiety, those kind of stuff, okay? Train the body. Of course, you have to take care of the diet and the rest too, okay? It's not just train the 6 healing sound. If you don't eat, you get a problem, okay? Now, you need at least 2 hours per day of training 6 healing sound to get back. 2 hours. Why do I know that? Because one of my teacher, actually many of my teacher, I study with one of the pioneer of the 6 healing sounds from China, okay, expert pioneer in the past few century. So I study with many of his students because I want to know what exactly is this grandmaster of the or expert or pioneer of the 6 healing sound in our era teach. So I study with many different of his students, and I read his writing, his document and so forth. And if we don't spend 2 hours per day every day, you're not going to get much, and you need to do it properly. Okay. As for diet, at one point I was training that 2 hours per day. Okay. It thing doesn't work. And my teacher from China saying, Hendrik, something's wrong. What happened? I said, well, I do exactly what you said. And it turned out, what is that? Because at that time, I'm a strict vegetarian. I don't have enough intake of the body. Okay? So it caused that problem. That's why he told me, oh, you have to eat this way, you have to balance your diet and so forth. So this is Six Healing Sound, which is something 1,500 years ago. And up to now, I have already investigated and trained that Six Healing Sound for 15 years. Daily from 3 hours to 1 hour. That is what it is, okay? So it is not, oh yeah, you know, I trained the Six Healing Sound for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I learned Six Healing Sound that I can do something magic. There's no magic. There's hard work to transform, to convert your body, to align back your body, or to regulate your body, or to put it back to its healthy state. Okay, so that's what it is. Now, so this is 1, this is 2, okay? On the other hand, if we want to develop calmness, then we need to have the meditation type, like in my video, the L1 calmness type, okay? To calm down the physical, between 0 and 1. And then only after you calm down the 0 and 1, over here from 1 and 2, you can calm down your mind, you can work with your mind. And then almost 2 here, you work with your breathing. Okay? So you want to practice Anapanasati? You better get this here up to here. You have a prerequisite of the calmness before you go Anapanasati or counting your breath. No, sorry, it's not counting your breath. It is aware of your pulse. Okay? And then it is from calmness 2, you get further, where you be able to aware of your entire 4 core elements and be able to handle it. Only at that time, you call it as what? Mindfulness. Now, you are mindful of your entire 4 core element or 4 layers. Until then, what do you have? We don't have anything. Now, many of us having some relaxation like this, a peaceful feeling, like we went to, you know, like the Lake Toba, okay, and we thought that, oh yeah, you know, this is we are enlightenment already. You stay there like at that state and you think, well, I'm enlightenment already. This mindfulness. Forget about it. Those things cannot even handle pressure. Under pressure, those things collapse. You need to develop it over here. And even until here, well, I'm there. That's why I know I can map this out. Even I'm here, when my blood sugar by accident because of the diet and medication shoot me into here, -2, I lost it. I have to take the the glucose tablet and wait, shut everything down so I don't have my body can do its job to bring me back. That's reality. Okay? You and me was different. We are human. Okay? And then if we talk about kids, we want to train kids to be smarter, then we know we want to get the kids into the more calmness. Okay? And then it will develop, because it's more calmness here, it will develop more awareness. And then using the awareness, if they study some subject, then they can have the insight of that subject. So they're good in school. They can understand people and so forth. Okay? And then if this and then with this calmness, like the calmness, say for example 1.5, the calmness 1.5 is pretty good already for human. All right, you have this awareness, you study, That means you can quiet down, calm down, and study your subject. You're very good. And then if you use this, like you study the no self of Buddhism, you go inward to study yourself or the self, to investigate yourself, the self, me, okay? Then you can see, oh, the self is just a concept. Even though you're not enlightenment, you cannot get away from it yet, but you will know, oh, self is just a concept. And at that point, naturally, one will develop what? Or one will actually evoke, not develop, evoke what? Compassionate. Otherwise, if I'm keeping using this self, to study whatever my subject, I can turn into billionaire, the best designer and everything, but my ego is big. I will not be able to feel other people. I do not be able to know why is that homeless or sick people is suffering, that we need to help them. They don't understand because they're using this self. They don't even see. But if you go backward and you see this self, then you found out that, oh yeah, you know, they are suffering. We need to help them. So the people who have compassionate, so you know, give and take. If we lose something, we give him, no problem. You know, as soon as everybody is good, there's no problem. But the guy who don't have that, even they can talk about compassionate all way they want. As soon as anything what do you call it, opposition with their benefit, right away they jump. They are not allowed people to touch their benefit. They will say, okay, I'll help you, but in the term that it never, I do not lose my benefit. But in the minute that I lose my benefit, I'm going to say, no, it's better me than you. I don't want this deal, do this deal. So that is not compassionate. So talk about mindfulness and compassionate, unjudgmental. Unless one get into this calmness, say calmness 1.5 for example, and you develop the awareness, and then you can do an insight meditation into investigate yourself, you cannot get the compassion there. So if people say, oh yeah, I just get calmer and calmer, well, you can see Thomas Edison, he is calm too. He can develop so many things. But does he have compassionate? Compare with Tesla, Nikola Tesla. Okay. So if we want to develop our kids, the young generation, we want them to live good and be very good, you know, helping human race and so forth. We need to do all this thing. And that's why all this thing is what I call and name as human operating system. It's not just your what do you call it, the mindfulness or any philosophy or anything, okay? And you can see that when people get into those type of the mindfulness and everything, as this one, they are not going for their in-depth calmness, and then they work out their insight, no, go one side for as an expert, go inside to dissolve their ego or their self. They go on the other direction. So because like we can sit on Lake Toba Cafe and speak all kinds of philosophy, or sounds good or bad, what do you call it, wishful thinking. That's in the star. Is it going to do anything on your real life if you stay in the star in Lake Toba? You're not going to stay in anything. Okay, you're stuck in the star. So the real Zen, which I understand, is be able to live here in this real life. And they need a training. They need a training. and educations of who we human are. Otherwise, so like for example, you know, I always tell people, what people this guy say he have this meditation, that meditation. I ask people, so how many people have you seen can enter into jhana, which is the out state here? How many people can even handle their 4 elements? You can go to the lab. You can check your handling with your you know, like the 4th layer, like your energy neural layer. Say for example with the HRV, okay, your breathing, and so forth. And also another thing which is pretty screwed up is this: human is based on 2 things. Okay, when you want to handle the your 4 core elements or 4 layers, they always have a 3 step which is handling 2 states. The 3 step is, number 1, you want to aware of that place. Like for example, this hand, I have to aware of it before I can relax it. So I'm aware of it. Okay, like if my hand is like that, I aware of it already. I have to let the hand go. This is called balancing, the 2nd state. So the first state is aware of this hand. The second state, the second step of the process is to balance it out. And then the third is I have to put that and leave it alone, so that the hand can relax. If I do not aware of this hand, I do not balance this hand, and I do not leave it there to let it settle or unwrap or untie itself, how is the hand going to get settled? But today there's a lot of meditation like breathing. You breathe 5 times, you hold 5 times, you exhale 5 times. Well, okay, you're forcing or you're tuning or you're trying to balance your breathing. But if you keeping do that without let your breathing go and resonance naturally, you're screwing up the system. It's like this hand. If I keeping doing that, okay, I'm regulating it. But if I do not rest it, I'm going to screw up this hand. Because this is only having the intentional regulating state. It doesn't have bring it back into the natural resonance state, so that this hand can balance itself, can energize itself. Okay, so there's all kinds of issues. That's why I wrote this book. Okay, with all this how you want to massage if you have a high blood pressure or you have all kinds of stuff. You know, the Chinese have 1,000 years of those experience and record on that. So this is a human operating system. It is not any single meditation can help. And in fact, today, like people talk about Vipassana. Vipassana is insight meditations. It's this insight meditation. But today, most of people talk about Vipassana. You know what is that? Mindfulness Vipassana is to go to retreat for 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days. But do you know that the body, the 4 elements, the 4 core elements, the 4 layers, have its limitations and the diminishing return when you do a meditations? The body can only take this much. If you try to push it, you get stressed yourself. Say if you can sit in a meditation for 5 minutes, you try to push it to 10 minutes. You get stressed, you get tense up, meaning you're going to influence your sympathetic system, your nervous system. It's already a diminishing return, and you say, well, I'm going to sit down there like the Chinese Jackie Chan movie, Kung Fu movie, stand there until shivering. You must be kidding, this movie. It's not real life. Okay? So this is to share with you today. This is what I, for my 40 years or so, meet so many people and all this monks and so forth. This is what I got. I could be wrong. Don't believe me and don't take my words. Please go do research. University, I encourage the university to do research. See what I'm saying is in the directions or not. So this is to share with you today. That's why I call it human operating system. We need that. If we're going to study, we have this AI, we put all our mind and the best people in AI, then we need to put a part of people, at least some 30% of the people into this human operating system. Otherwise, what are we doing? So this is for you again.